What's up, everyone? Welcome to Barstool Breakdown. Today is Saturday, December 16th, and we got a great show for you today. We're going to break down the last episodes of Surviving Barstool. We're going to go through our Barstool Beast, Least, Beef of the Week, the Comment of the Week. Let's get it.
Get sturdy as fuck.
This is it.
I should be over all the butterflies, but I'm into you. And baby, even on the worst nights, I'm into you.
All right, welcome to Barstool Breakdown. I'm Frankie here with my co-host Jonathan. How we doing, brother?
Terrific, Frankie. Great week for me. This is Frankie's flu game. Just to let you guys know, he's been going through it, but Frankie's flu game. I had my flu game when I was when we interviewed Malasek. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I was also sick. But Frankie's going through it this week. He said he's feeling up to record, so here we are. We're doing it for you guys. You know, the 30 to 200 range that we get. Let's hope we boost that this week. But yeah, it's been a great week. Let's just jump right into Surviving Barstool. Obviously, we've gone through the finale on that, but let's go ahead and break it down, like how the week went on. I'll start with Monday. They had the survey challenge. I wrote down what they had for each category. So least funny was Che, craziest Jerry, not a threat was KFC, dumbest was fights. That no one got right, by the way. You all vote fights and no one gets it right, which is crazy. Most competitive was Tommy. Biggest fraud, Tommy. Weirdest was Che. Needs a nap, PFT. Belongs in a cage, Jerry. Doesn't deserve to be on the show, Che, which we found out, it kind of played into it. Funniest was fights. Changed the most. There was 3 different answers. I didn't write them all down. Dinner date, fights, and PFT. Most obnoxious, KFC. So there's not a whole lot.
Was the craziest one was the KFC one, which he
The most
is
obnoxious?
kind of the most obnoxious, but
No,
it's like
he
Tommy
proved
is.
that. He proved that in the finale, bro. In the finale, when you're like sitting there and like they're chatting to like the fucking jury and shit. Every time KFC would talk, bro, you could see it on like some of the jury's faces, bro. They were like, "Is this guy gonna stop fucking talking?" Like he's doing way too much. KFC did so fucking much in that finale. He wouldn't shut the fuck up. Like, pass the ball, bro. Like, it's not all about you. You lost. We get it. Get the fuck out of here. Like, he just kept questioning and questioning and questioning. Every time that Kelly threw him the rock, he was like, I'm going to hold this motherfucker because it's my show now. No, this isn't Barstool Radio. This is Barstool Surviving Finale. Get the hell on with your story. Like, you could see it in Kirk and Dave. They were like shaking their heads like, what the fuck's going on? Why does he keep talking? He's doing what I'm doing now. He was going on a fucking whole monologue and just preaching about like, oh, well, we could have done this way and our final 3 would have been solid. No, fuck off, KFC. You lost. Stop being sad boy about it. Get out of here. Anyways, it was a great week of Surviving Barstool. Great week. I don't know your thoughts, but it was great week.
I mean, that was, it's funny because I think it happens every week, either on Stoolie Wednesday or just in the chat in general. More and more people are like, KFC needs to be off Barstool Radio. KFC doesn't know how to shut up. KFC interrupts everybody. And I actually was like a big KFC guy. Really enjoyed KFC Radio for a while. I used to always talk about it on Stoolie Wednesday with a couple of the guys in the chat there. And then I started seeing those comments where it was like KFC never passes the ball. KFC interrupts fights every time he's telling a story. KFC interrupts everyone he's talking to, whatever. And it's just never left my brain, and I can't get over it now. So like every time I listen to anything with KFC in it, the second he interrupts somebody, I'm like, God damn it, dude, he's doing it again. Which shout out Neil for commenting that on one of our last videos, which I was like, we're on a fucking tape delay, so it's hard to fucking know when to stop and start, which as you noticed when you stopped the last time, I was still waiting.
Frankie is the PFT of this podcast. Everyone knows it. Like, Frankie is the KFC of this podcast. He does it all the time. He's always interrupting. No, we get it. No, I'm kidding. No, it was a solid comment. Thanks, Neil, for noticing. I'll be paying more attention to it. Make sure I throw in some alpha there. But no, he does do it. Like, don't get me wrong. KFC is a great podcaster. There's a reason he's made it this far. But he really tried to dominate that finale. I didn't want to just jump straight into the finale like that. I'm sorry to go on the monologue that I did, but he tried to dominate the show because he wouldn't understand that he had to get backstabbed for Will to win. Like, that's how the game works. But yeah, let's start with Monday. You know what I mean? Like, we can just go down to who got you limbed. I mean, there was a lot that went on. Like, Will won immunity. Jerry played his idol on PFT, and then boom, Tommy's out. Will takes down Tommy. Where's the scalp as a crown, as Tommy would say. It was it was played right. It was played how it would. And Jerry and PFT get some credit for getting Will on their side there. That's what people I feel like failed to realize in the end is Jerry did play that play too. Like Jerry and PFT wanted to get Tommy out, and the way to do it was to get Will. So yeah, Will comes out the king because of that. But I mean, Jerry and PFT were, deserve credit in getting Tommy out too.
Yeah, I mean, it was their it actually. I think in the edit it showed that they actually had that plan first, and I think Jerry did mention that in his like speech in the finale or whatever. Um, but it did take Will to finalize the plan.
Yeah, he was the swing
Um,
vote.
so yeah, I mean, it's just it's crazy because like as I'm thinking about it, I'm watching the show. I'm like, this is a fucking NFL player, like kind of a goofer. Like he's one of the boys. He's the fucking boy. He's the man, whatever. But like, it's tough because like he's already a millionaire. Like whatever, all this stuff. And then he goes out, and you're like, all right, well, like, did he actually play the best game? Because you talk about it, like without he had to be there to do that to make that Tommy vote go down the way it did. Although, like you said, it could have been PFT and Jerry that got the credit. Without Will, it doesn't happen. And Will did mention like I think it's time to get out Tommy now. Let's not get out
Right.
Jerry or Che or whatever. So
It's the
um
same. It's the same point that Che was bringing up to KFC in fights. It's the same exact logic, except Will was the smartest one to act on it. Like Che brought up to fights in KFC and said, "Now might be the time to get Will. Like maybe we go get Will because like if he's in the final three, that could be trouble for either of you guys. Like, and this is all to the detriment of Che because he was like, you should do what's best for you, and Che was never thinking, let's do what's best for Che." He was always worried about like how can I get on this guy's side to make him bring me further. It wasn't how can I help this guy come with me. Like he was always
yeah,
thinking
that was
backseat.
weird.
He was always
That
thinking
was
backseat.
weird.
He was backseat driving the whole way. He never wanted to ride shotgun, never wanted to take the wheel. He always had Jesus on controls and thought he'd carry him to it, and it just didn't in the end. But
That's
yeah,
funny that it's funny because in my opinion, it felt like he was it was almost like I felt like he was in the driver's seat the whole time. Like he felt like he was in full control, that he was like, I'm playing this game perfectly. I'm getting myself to the finale. I'm doing exactly how I'm supposed to, how I need to. But like then we all found out at the end that like, the whole jury was like, nah, dude, fuck you. We're not letting you win. So
no, he was
clearly
playing.
getting there was great, but
Will said it the right way. He was playing it as snake in the grass. He was fucking, swerving each side. He was playing the side he needed to when he needed to advance. He was playing the other side when he needed to
so did
advance.
Jerry kind of though, too.
Kind of, but Jerry played dumb against Dave, and like,
Yeah.
obviously Dave held that against him, but Jerry was still with like that same group the whole way. And then once his group was out, then what'd he do? He swung over Will and Che. Like he Jerry played a great game. Jerry's a
Yeah.
well-deserved second. I think it was Will, Jerry, Che. Like if you had to put them in order, I mean, Jerry played a great game. I root for my guy. That's my guy. But the most deserved to win the game was the guy that won the game. They voted right. You seen it when Big Cat wrote the name down. When he showed his fucking slip, I'm sure a bunch of people were surprised. Hey Sam, you see that? Sam, you see that? Papa Cats wrote down Will because he knew he played the best game. Like I'm sure like
Yeah,
Jerry might
a
have been
wild comment from Che to say that, because Will had the immunity so many times, he had the easiest path or whatever. It's
no,
like,
bro, you earned that
yes,
shit.
but that is the easiest path. Get fucking immunity. Like, what do you mean?
Right.
That's the whole point of the game. That's why it's the best
Be
game. So
better at the game.
it
Yeah.
was a good try. It was like Hank's attempt of
Yeah, it was.
saying that Kirk sabotaged, but
Yeah, I mean, we're clearly gonna be all over the place here, but like in the finale, like people are like, as Che was giving his speech, they were like, "Worst speech ever." Nate said that, which is like, who cares about Nate's opinion? But it was a terrible speech. It was what Che got up there and said. He was like, "It doesn't matter who's best at gym class, the ex-pro athlete. Like,
yeah.
does he really need the money?" It's like this isn't a charity case. This is surviving Barstool. This is who played the best game, and Will Compton played the best game. Simple, straight as fact. He played the best game. Jerry, a close second. I'd give Jerry a close second. Jerry played a good game. I know he backstabbed Dave, but that's part of the game. Like his guy, he thought Jerry came into that thinking, I'm going to ride with Big Cat. I'm going to be on his side. I'm going to go through it. And then boom, day one, first elimination. What happens? His best guy is out. Best guy. Everyone expects him to carry him to the final because it's supposed to be the Jerry charity case. And then what's he do? He figures that shit out. He gets in the grass. He gets dirty, and he figures that shit out and finds a way to the final. A very well played game by Jerry. If he won more immunities, it would have been a closer fight. Like, it was smart of Will to be like, I got to get fights out, like, because fights might have
Yeah.
been his best competition in the
But
final three.
and I think that's a huge point right there because I think it's kind of like NCAA football, like later wins matter more than the early wins. So like Jerry in the early times, he was with Dave and then he fucked them over. That was real early in the show. Like Will he had to do over KFC and fights, at the end. And I guess even Kirk at one point too and all that. But I mean, at the very end there, that KFC vote which I guess we could just move into day two since,
Yeah.
Tommy and PFT were out day one. Day two is KFC getting out.
Oh, real quick
And
note.
KFC still doesn't realize. Yeah.
Real quick note: when PFT got out, he was like telling Jerry to vote him out. Like, Jerry, let me nut, man. Let me go home and let me
Yeah,
go
he
to the
hasn't been able
hotel
to
and jerk
jack
off.
off.
Let me nut. Yeah, great line by PFT. Just want to throw that out there. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and then of course when Che was crying, he hugged him and said, "Thanks, Steven. You're gonna let me nut. It's all right. It's
It's
all right,
okay,
man."
buddy.
So
It's okay, buddy. You're gonna let me nut. Yeah.
emotional moment. Yeah, it's crazy
Ridiculous
too
that
because
Che
we like never
crashed.
see PFT's eyes, and then like in that moment they were so big, and it was just like, holy shit, this is such a moment where I bet you he wish he has his sunglasses on because it was so awkward. um,
Yeah.
but my point though was that when you got Will voting out KFC and then KFC being like, I don't understand. Like there was just no way. Like it was all three of us in the finale. There was just no way it wasn't the three of us if it wasn't for this and this. And like he just didn't get the fact that Will was right. Like fights probably would have won the game, dude. Like, I mean, I guess Will did have the best story and all this stuff too, but like, I'm sure fights would have said some funny shit and got KFC's vote and got these votes and maybe Hank and, whatever Hank and Big Cat split, you never know what happens in that moment. Like the play is you take out KFC, then you take out fights. And that's what he did. That's why he
So
won.
here's my point on fights: is if he does make the final three, sure, he played a good game, got immunities when he needed to. He had a good game. Sorry, excuse my dog. There. Like he had a good game. He was playing it well, but he said this like I think it was maybe the last episode. He was like, "Yeah, all this talking, who we gonna vote? Who gonna vote?" Like I'm just annoyed by it. I want to sit back and like not worry about that. But that's a part of the game. That's a part of the game. And Will was good at that. He was going around making all that happen. So I think even if those two do get matched up in the final three, Will still walks away with it because that's a part of the game. You have to walk. You have to walk around. You have to play like whose side am I on? You have to do that. And fights was just like, I'm gonna go have a Factor meal. Shout out Factor. If you guys are looking for someone to sponsor, we're here for you. But
100.
yeah, it's part of the game. It's part of the game. So and he wasn't really playing that part of the game. And people like said it was the whole time. It wasn't just when he was annoyed. He said I've been annoyed by it the whole time.
Yeah, well, I think my comment, he definitely didn't play a better game. Will played the better game 1000%. I think the reason why Will probably thought fights had the chance was because you think about it, just like KFC was saying, well, not even the immunity, like at the end vote there, like Will was just like, I don't want Feidelberg at the end vote with me there. Sure, he played a better game, whatever, but if you think about the OG Barstool guys, you got Dave, you got KFC, you got Big Cat, you got Hank, you got Gaz. That's 5 right there. You only need 6 votes?
Yeah, but I don't even know
So
that.
I'm not saying all 5 of those guys would vote for him. I'm just saying if I'm Will Compton, I don't know Barstool. I mean, I don't know how much he knows Barstool history and whatever, but like he knows those were OG guys. Just like KFC said, I can't believe you're rooting for Jerry over Feidelberg, whatever. And it's just like, all right, maybe it was just a moment or whatever, but like, I don't know. I mean, that's where Will's head could have been at. And I agree with him on that. Like I said, I feel like putting Jerry and putting Che there was an easier, path for him to win. Because there was just 2 guys there that were super hated, you know what I mean, by different groups.
Well, yeah, Jerry was hated for the wrong reasons. I think Dave had, Dave took it too hard. But I think, like if you look at the vote and how it went, I think the truly only 2 biased voters were PFT and Hank. Like, I think that PFT was biased because Jerry wouldn't write his down. So, like he said it, Jerry won't write my name down, so I'll write his down, in the final. And then I think Hank just kind of was like, I'm voting Jerry regardless. I think
there was also like a stick it to KFC,
and then actually,
dude, honestly.
and then also like Dave was probably very biased against Jerry. We saw that, and the fuck is not voting Che. Yeah, there was that graphic that was released today by the Yak saying like Che's stat and surviving Barstool. It's like a bunch of zeros like the whole way down. Like a legendary performance from Che. I mean, he made it to the finals. But Che played his game. It just wasn't the right game to get the win. It was the right game to get you there, get you to podium. It wasn't to win. But yeah, the whole fight situation, yeah, I don't know. Like fights, like I said, I don't think he would have won in the final three regardless. I thought it was like ballsy of Will to say like, well, I guess like we would never know if he'd actually do it, but if it was a memory game, like he would have taken on fights, which would have been fucking awesome. Like you give up final immunity, like
I know
here,
that would have been
yeah,
insane.
and then you fight the guy you think you deserve it over, like that's got the closest shot. I hope we see that in like future, maybe like against like, in the next surviving bar stools. And they talked about how it might look in the future, but we didn't get to see it. And it's a smart play by Will not to do that. Cause look, Jerry won anyways. You know what I mean? Like that's a tough game and Jerry beat Fights. So if Fights really was that upset, like you could have beat Jerry and podiumed anyways. You could have been up there anyways. And if you win that against Jerry, he's got a better case to win. So honestly,
Right.
Will was like, here, if you really want to see me in the final, because I'll beat you if I bring you along. I'll beat you if I carry you there with me. Go earn it and see me on the top. And he couldn't. Fights fell short. That's on Fights, not on Will. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then we can just obviously move right into that insane just fuck you, turn around, double birds to
Oh, yeah.
Dave
Killed it.
after the Jersey Jerry victory. I don't think anybody watching that didn't just smile from ear to ear.
Besides
Even
Rico.
Sam, because I think it was like a one of those like no way he just did that smile. But I was just like, as soon as he did it, I just was like, like I was just laughing immediately, which of course I was laughing, but also in my head, like that's probably a wrong move. So it was nice to see that everybody
No,
was
Dave knew it was
kind of
going
like
to
made
happen.
up
If Jerry wins that,
in
Dave
the end.
knew that Jerry was coming. Jerry is like one of the like most reactionary people out there. Maybe it's a shtick, but he of course you're gonna get the dub. You're gonna look at the guy who's rooting against you the most and be like, fuck you. Like, I deserve this.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, I'm glad that it seemed like in the moment, Dave seemed like he was gonna just be like, "I'm not Jerry guy ever again." But then at the live portion of the finale, it seemed like everything was kind of
They'll be
hashed
fine.
out. Even though I will say, was you could see it wasn't fully hashed out because Dave was like, "Oh, was this video fake? Was this re-videoed? Was this like he was kind of like trying to call him out for some shit."
Well, that was in the
So
final speech though.
what's
That
that?
wasn't I said that wasn't like the post show. That was like in the
Yeah,
speech.
yeah. I meant that's what I was saying. Like in the show, he was calling him out for all this shit, and then in the post show, they were saying like they kind of like things have kind of like died down since then, and everything's kind of okay. But Dave did say he's like, yeah, I just think he's a liar and he's an actor, and
Yeah, he's a
whatever.
shtick
Which
guy now. Yep, he's a shtick guy. And Dave kind of fired another round there today too on the Thursday night sports advisors. Like it's a pick show now. No shticks. I'm back. So yeah, he called out Jerry again even tonight. So the beef is still continued. But we talked about it last week. They have that same little beef and animosity towards each other, but it'll all settle itself with time. If you look at like Pick'em today and Rico and Dave like agreeing on a number and shit like that, like it all works itself out in the Barstool world. Like, just fucking keep on your shit and it'll be fine.
yeah, you just keep your head down and you don't make a splash doing something when you're in trouble, then you're good. You just got to get out of it because look at Marty Mush; he still has a job, and that looked like it was going to be the end very quick. Yeah.
There's another guy. Yeah, there's another guy on that same.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that one.
We will. We'll get to it later. So yeah, and then moving into day 3, obviously, I mean, we've been talking about it. I gotta find where I'm at, my notes, but yeah, I mean, the final challenge, brick by brick. Will had this best start from the beginning. Like, everyone else was building crazy shit. Jerry's supposed to be a blue collar guy and know how to build shit. What the fuck was he building the whole way? He was doing one by one the whole way up, and then it fell, and then he started building crazy shit where it's 2 by 1. It's like, dude, come on, you're better than this. And then Fights
I mean,
goes with this wide
anything's
ass
better than
base.
fights. Yeah.
Fights needed 4,000 bricks to finish that. Like he was building the most fucking sturdy structure he could. Like he thought he was about to like this, it might be windy up top. It like he was taking no chances with the base he had going, but yeah, it just obviously wasn't going to work out for fights. And then Che started copying, like, after Will's strategy just wasn't as straight or like precise. It seems like he was more panicked and going into it. But like just another challenge that Will won. You know what I mean? Like, and that's like
Right.
going back to Che's speech when he's like, who, it doesn't matter who's the best at gym class. That's not gym class. That's strategy. That's thinking. How can I make this thing sturdy and stand up? Like, that's not gym class. So, like, there's challenges and memorization, not gym class. You know, who won that one? Like, it's
Another challenge that was bullshit to short people, though, I will say. Again,
what, the
shout out Jerry.
memorization? Oh, that one. Yeah, that last
No,
one.
the
No,
fucking stack,
yeah,
dude. There's
yeah,
no
yeah.
way
The
Jerry
brick
would have been
by
able to
brick.
put
No,
that last
Jerry
brick up
didn't have a
top.
chance. Yeah, Jerry really didn't have a chance in that one. That does suck. There goes the over. Raiders are up 35-0.
Great.
But yeah, crazy fucking yeah. Jerry didn't have a chance there. But and then winner picks the person that comes with them. Obviously, he picks Che. It's the best strategy, and we talked about most of the other stuff. But yeah, I don't know. As far as like the speeches, what do you have any opinions on the speeches?
I actually thought they were all really good. I was impressed, honestly, with all of them, that they all had different pieces that were good points to their reasoning. I even thought, like I said, I even thought Chase was pretty good, even though people were just dogging it. I just thought he had nothing else really to say, and to just come up with the logic like, well, Will didn't really have to play the game that much. He was like, immunity and whatever. Like, I don't know, dude. You could try to trick some people with some stupid shit like that. I'm not saying it was gonna work. I'm just saying I think for what he had, I think he said what he could that, tried to
It's
get people to
just
vote for him.
so
But to say
tough.
vote for Jerry at the end is just insane thing to say. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
exactly.
thought Jerry's was great though, honestly.
Yeah, I think Jerry preached that he had the best game. Che didn't preach that he played the best game. He was like, "Oh, if
No,
you want to
right.
give it to this guy who's got a bunch of money or is better at gym class, give him it." He's basically saying, if you want to give it to the guy that played the best game, then give it to him. But he's like, if you don't, then I'm here. Like Che didn't really have like a leg to stand on there, and like maybe that's my opinion. He had a terrible speech. He had a terrible speech. Jerry at least preached that he played the best game, that he swung over Will during that Tommy vote, that he deserves some credit for it. He preached like, once my guys were out, I still hung around. I'm like, I got voted on so many times, but I'm still here, which is like facts. Like he was like, people were coming at him the whole way, but he always find a way to like advance to the next round, to win that one swing vote, whether it be Will, or Che the one time, to win that one swing vote to keep going. Like people talk about how Che killed Kirk, but I mean Jerry had something to do with that, right? No, that was the same team. I
Yeah.
lied. I
It
lied.
it it what?
That was wrong. That was wrong. That was still when they were on the same team. Che killed him. Maybe not to be killed. No, because he wasn't going to get voted. I forget why Che killed Kirk. It was like, oh, they were trying to get fights. Yeah, he was trying to get fights. So Che saved fights in that one moment. I was wrong there.
Right. That was what I was gonna say. Che was that was when we found out they were in the alliance
Yeah,
together
yeah, I was
that
wrong
whole
there.
time.
But either way, Jerry preached that he played the best game. Will preached that he played the best game, and Che really didn't. Like I don't know. When it comes to the speeches, I think Che definitely had the worst one. Like I didn't love Che's speech.
I agree. I just meant I thought like there wasn't really much for him to be able to say because, like I said, I don't think his gameplay was the greatest. I think he did have a few moments where it was like, okay, yeah, I axed this guy, and then I did this guy dirty, and I did this, which you could say that that's the game, whatever. But like I said, I thought Jerry's speech was phenomenal. I thought it was just so. It had like wit, it had like funny parts, it had serious parts, and I just hated the fact that Dave was like, yeah, it's just an act and whatever. Like I don't know, I just don't feel
Right.
that way, honestly.
Yeah, and the last thing I really have to say. So, I mean, we could talk about what everyone said in the crowd. I don't think it's that important. Like, I have very quick notes about what they said in the crowd. It was like, Big Cat, Papa Cats gave a speech for Jerry in football. Obviously, football had to be involved there. Nate with cringy, I love you. Dave was mean to Jerry. Gaz admitted to fucking up. Kirk with a funny intro, then was very, very mean to Che. Fucking murdered Che. Rico, great Che speech while throwing cheese at him, calling him a rat. The cheese thing though, you hit me in the face with a piece of string cheese. I'm coming at your neck, buddy. You're not throwing fucking food at me. Sorry, Rico, you're not. Tommy asked why they should win, and then also asked for compliments. PFT gave everyone credit, then a big speech about why he's voting for Jerry. KFC seems salty. about the jury being biased, and then said he was voting for Will, even though Will was the one that backstabbed you, and that's why you're salty. Fight basically just challenged Will. He was like, "Why didn't you want to play me? Why didn't you want to play me?" And then, yeah, you Che had a great speech. Will was like Barstool Sports to the fucking moon. It was all good in the finale, but I think like after we saw the names drawn, we kind of knew how it was gonna go. It was gonna be the same as that final voting before they went to Chicago was.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was unfortunate because, like I said, it even seemed like even on the Yak today, they mentioned that most people knew what the way the voting was going to go already, which thankfully we didn't. I can't even remember who I ended up picking, who I said might win. I think I said Jerry at one point and Shay at one point, maybe. I don't even know if I ever said the boy. But still, he played the game the best. He deserved to win. It was hilarious that he said he was going to be sending all that money down to his dad. And then he's like, "Hey, honey, I'm bringing home 100K." So he's actually not giving it to his dad. So shout out Will Compton for still playing the game right up until the very end there.
Right.
But yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe his dad's seen some money from him, so whatever.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and he'll have a case or two ready the next time he's out here out there with Will. So all will be good.
Yeah, it's no problem. All in all, though, great production. We'll get into how it didn't get spoiled until last minute here in our segment.
Yeah, I was going to say everything we talked about might come up again. So let's just move right into our segments here. And the first one being the Barstool Beast of the Week.
I'm the best in the office! I am the best one here!
All right. Well, I'm just wearing the hat for him. So I'll just start 2 weeks in a row. Second, the boys hat. Beast of the Week is the boy again for me. Shout out Ben from the chat, his favorite employee at Barstool. I will say,
Ben, former friend of the show, former host of the show, Ben.
Yeah, of course. Well, I figured at this point, people just have to know Ben at this point with the comments and everything too. So, but for the only thing that Will did himself dirty on was writing him down as the dumbest and then holding it up with his name, and then it just said dumbest underneath. So
yeah, great screen capture.
A screenshot of that. So it's unfortunate for our guy Will here, but he was definitely the beast in my opinion. Won the show, won the 100K. Excellent speech at the end there. I thought the speech could have ended sooner and it was good, and he went even further and it was good. So I thought he had the best speech. Maybe, I don't know, Jerry's was really good too, but he had a really good speech. He had the best reasoning, in my opinion, to win. He's the deserving winner. He won immunity like 4 times. He eliminated a bunch of people that were, part of his alliances. He kind of was in every alliance and didn't, have the snake feel like Che did and Jerry did. So shout out to the boy, Will Compton, Beast of the Week.
Yeah, it's unanimous. There's no need to pause there. This whole show is probably gonna be pretty unanimous for the most part, is my guess. But yeah, Beast was, going back to the well. It's Willie C. He played a perfect game. He got Tommy. He got KFC. He got fights when they least expected it too. They were all stunned when it came, and they were like, "Who the fuck did that?" And it was Will that did it. Always the swing vote, because he came in as an outsider. He had to build these trusts of people. Like, he didn't have the same relationship that Tommy did with KFC and fights, or Che did with KFC and fights. Like, coming in, they aligned 2 months prior to the show. Tommy is always doing radio with him. He doesn't come in with Big Cat and Dave and all them. Willie is the outsider. He lives in Nashville. He's the bussing with the boys. He's the boy. He came in as the outsider, but he left, Frankie, he left as the fucking dealer. And he said it. But he left as the dealer.
Best quote.
And that's straight fucking facts. He came in like as an outsider and left as the fucking dealer. He was dealing the cards, and all props to the boy, because the boy crushed the game. And he deserves a well-deserved beast. This 2 out of 3 weeks, I think. He crushed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he said sometimes you got to play with the cards that you're dealt, but this time I was the dealer, which, what a fucking quote. Yeah, so
Beast.
Shout out Willie Compton, absolute beast in every way. All right, well, congrats to the boy for the unanimous decision. Again, like you said, I'm pretty sure he's won it now like unanimously, maybe even twice, or at least he's won it from both of us, I think, and then again now unanimously. So he's going to be probably the next person that has to come on the show. I think that's how it's going to go.
Fingers
Um,
crossed.
but speaking of next person on the show, let's move right into the Barstool least of the week.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah. So I know it's gonna be unanimous. I got on my board back here. So Mincy, Ben Mintz, he fucked up again. They didn't have a drop button, Frankie. They didn't have him on delay, Frankie. Like, this is all, all these things got to be thought of the last time that, like, he had a live show. We saw what can happen, what can really happen. And then moments before, hours before the finale of a show that we had to fight YouTube for to get people to pay for and do all this shit, you announce the final 3 and we don't know yet. You announce it, bro. Ben Mintz is the least of the week. It should be unanimous throughout the Stooley universe. And yeah, like, we had plans on Wednesday. We were like, hey, we're lined up with Ben Mintz. We can get Mincy on the show. Oh shit, we might finally get him. Put him as at least probably not our best play. But dude, it's deserved. We're honest Stoolies. This is from the heart, Mincy. We love you, but you fucked up again. Come on, man. Like, damn. So it says right here, wake up Mincy to be continued. I got him hung across the wall like Jesus on the cross because I hope he's back. I hope he comes back and he saves us all. But right now, I'm not waking up. I'm not. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not waking up because Mincy's gone. I'm trying to hide it with my head now, but what the fuck, Mincy? How can you have such a blunder? Not once, but twice. He did it twice. He's like LeBron in Miami. He did it twice, bro. What is he doing? Makes no sense to me.
Yeah,
Did he win 3 in Miami?
it's unanimous. I tried. In my head, I was like, all right, Mincy was going to be the guest this week. Like, we still got to be on his good graces, whatever. But that's not the Stooley way. Like, that's not the way to do it. You don't just say like, oh, I'm going to pick Che because people kind of hated on him and it's an easy target and whatever and blah blah blah. It's Mintz. I mean, there's no other way around it. You can't spoil the fucking show that we all had to pay $10 for. We had to pay fucking $30 for, technically, because we paid for people to watch it because we were good enough stoolies and nice enough people that get fucking no views and no money for this shit and still did it anyway because we fucking love this company and we don't give a fuck, even though we lose our bets just like everyone at the company does because we follow their bets. Besides Stephen Che, I will say that. So shout out Stephen Che.
I should have followed Dave. The Raiders were murdering these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I got a couple that might still work, but I did take the over. I realized that. I took the over by itself, but a couple of my parlays, I had the under and some shit. So anyway, but yeah, it's Mincy. I put in my notes, obviously, he spoiled the thing, but then I just put another note in there that he missed out on coming on Barstool Breakdown. So not just one thing, but
Yeah. Frankie had him lined up. We were ready to go. Mincy is, I got him on Stooley Wednesday once, former friend. I mean, he's a good dude. He means well, right? He means well, but there's something in that brain that's got to click. I can't say this. Not today, Mincy. Can't say this. You need the drop button. You need the drop button, bro. Because like I woke up late, didn't catch Mincy as it woke up. Didn't know. I just heard through the group chat he spoiled the show, and now we're seeing all the clips today. They're posting the clips of it today. All time spoil, like straight and direct to the point. Like, these are who's in it. You're welcome. No more wondering.
I take it back.
What?
I take it back. He's not my least.
What the fuck? How?
It's the fucking producers. TJ showed us today on YouTube. We could do it right here if we were live. There's a literal setting in YouTube that says there's a 30-second or a 1-minute delay that you could do right in YouTube. So they could have done that shit. Then they also posted a video in the Chicago office saying, what? Ben Mintz doesn't have a tape delay? Seems pretty crazy. I don't know if we should do that as like a joke. And then this happens. So it's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to just put the producers as the least because that's fucking ridiculous. No, I'm just kidding. I love all the producers. Those guys are awesome. But I will say it's got to be Mintz. And then also that crew does have to get a little bit of the blame for not having a tape delay. But yeah, we're going to have to install a tape delay in Mintz's head if we want to get him to still do some live content.
Yeah, 100%. I love Mintz. I hope he comes on the show one day. I hope his show is back soon. Someone figure out the fucking drop button or the delay. Frankie just explained it. TJ just explained it. We got to get that show back up because he's electric. He's a fucking lightning bolt. You can't have him live. You just can't.
Yeah, and if 30 seconds is too much or a minute's too much, freaking Cliff DiMartino was willing to buy a $3,000 piece of equipment to install for that because he doesn't
That's
want
right.
it to go
Shout
to
out
waste.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, shout out Cliff, but shout out Mincy. We love you, but you fucked up.
That's right.
And that'll move us right to the Barstool beef of the week.
Fuck you! Well, fuck you too! Oh, my God! What? Brandon, what?
All right, so I had a pretty tough time picking out a beef this week. So I just kind of went with the easy one, I think, that was kind of fresh in everyone's heads because of what you mentioned earlier, and because most people have been watching, Surviving, and they watched the live finale, and they're probably on Twitter. And Stephen Che does a lot of betting and puts a lot of tweets out, and it gets a lot of comments with the same thing, and it's because of one other guy. So my beef of the week is Che versus Rico. Even though it seemed like it's Che versus Kirk, which turned into Che versus Rico because that's the skip, which I understand. But that leads right into the quote that Che gave yesterday, was "Think for yourself for once," and everyone gave them the ooh, and then even today on the Yak, Big Cat was like, "Oh yeah, you crushed him with that. That was great. That was great." So it was a tough line. Che said he stood by it, and rightfully so, I guess. But he's been getting the rat and the cheese emojis nonstop with all the riders and stuff like that. So it's a pretty funny beef because I don't know if it's actually real or not. It seems like it is though, because I don't think Che can play a role for too long. And he seems a little heated about it. So that's my beef.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this show's just going to be unanimous. We all watch the same shit. We all, there's one main piece of content we're all wanting to talk about. We're recording on Thursdays and compared to Saturdays now. So it's Che versus Rico. Like I said, if Rico was throwing cheese at my feet, bro, I'm coming at your neck. That's just how it goes. But Rico with the throwing cheese in the speech, I thought it was a little overkill him doing it again at the live show in Chicago a couple months later. I thought it was overkill. I mean, Rico's the boy, he's a good dude. He's on the right path, all that shit. But the only reason the dog is going after Che is because his skip got axed by Che. And that's what really, because Che explained it. He was like, we were never really on the same side. I don't understand your side of the beef. Why don't you think for yourself? Because Che knows that Rico's only doing it because his skip got axed by him. But yeah, it's Che versus Rico. And that think for yourself line that you already brought up, he killed him with that. You had fights over there stomping his foot, like, come on, Che, like fucking ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, there's not
shit out of that.
Right. There's not much more to really say about it. I hope that beef subsides because I like both those guys. But I mean, I put my hands up last week. It was I'm pretty sure it was my beef last week. I put my hands up, said, I'm not going to pick a side. I'm a data guy and a rider, but it's almost overkill at this point what I'm seeing on Rico's end.
Yeah, that's kind of par for his brand, that he kind of just takes it a little bit over the top, which is what kind of Kirk does too. So you got to let them do what those guys do, and it is what it is. So I thought that should be the beef of the week, but I just want to throw this out there because as I was kind of writing my beef of the week, it was Max versus Malasek. I don't know if you saw him do the Yak challenge, but he couldn't score a goal
Malasek
for ever.
owned him.
And he was so fucking mad, dude. He's like, no, I'm actually fucking pissed at Malasek. He let fucking Spider score, dude. He
Big
totally
Cat
gave
warns
up on it,
everybody.
whatever.
Big Cat warns everybody. Malasek's a cunt. You got to watch out for Malasek. He's gonna be after it. He warns everybody before you do it. He told Ronan Sass, Malasek's a cunt. Be careful against Malasek. He's a good goalie. We've talked about it. We talked about it with Malasek. He's a good goalie. That's what
I know. I want to shoot on him so bad.
Max.
I know. But yeah, that was just a little backup that I had, but I was like, that's not good enough for this, especially with what was going on. So I say we keep it unanimous for those three, but that's just a backup there. But yeah, let's move right into the comment of the week. Vacation mode. Kind. I'm flying a kite right now. Let's go. like lately, I feel like both of us have been kind of putting out like Barstool employees comments and stuff like that. And usually they get the most, likes and, retweets and just interactions in general. But this comment didn't get a ton of likes. But it just like hit me like just straight to the core. I was dying laughing when I saw it. It was after Jerry After Dark. Um, the one where everyone was saying Jerry Rapino, Jerry Biden, low T Jerry, all that stuff. Jersey Jerry tweets out, people once loved JJ, and then all of a sudden it's Jerry Rapino, Jerry Biden, low T Jerry transition started. No clue how this happened so fast. And then this guy at Nathan_Moreau just tweeted out, why is this tweet only showing in Spanish?
Yeah,
And I
that's
know
a
it's
good one. I
very
saw that.
just basic. I thought it was very basic and, not like the greatest tweet ever, whatever, but just at the timing and for the type of tweet that Jerry tweeted out, Jerry's tweet had like over 700,000 like views and like almost 7,000 likes, I think. And this one only got, I think, like, 40 likes or something like that. But it was just the timing of it was just perfect because it was a comment like about the chat, just always fucking with him. And then someone obviously from the chat saying, why is this tweet in Spanish?
Yeah.
Shout out the chat for Jerry After Dark. It's sometimes you just got to go in there and read the chat, which is almost impossible because it's so fast all the time.
No, I mean, you're right. It's a good comment. It's a great comment because it always is showing up in Spanish. It's crazy why it does that, especially his tweets when he talks about the show. But yeah, I mean, it feeds right into mine because the chat does run the show. So today, Lucas got punished by Jerry. He said, I hope the chat can accept at Lucas Guido 13's apology at Jerry After Dark. And it's a video of Lucas like saying the chat runs the show, like, I'm sorry, whatever, and then doing lemon eye again. But my comment, it's a quote from Chuck Naso. Sorry to go back to the Barstool well, but Chuck Naso, who's a Barstool guy, he quotes it, and it's Lucas on his knees looking at his phone, and it's with Jeff Nadeau's. It's a Jeff Nadeau tweet that he photoshopped the picture of. So he put the picture of Lucas, and then the tweet said it's from Big Man on Campus. Golf cartel sicarios interrogate 8 men from various rival cartels. They were all found shot and dead after soon. One male was a migrant from Guatemala who claims he failed to pay his smuggling fee to get to the border, so he was forced to join a cartel. And it's just Lucas looking at his phone. So it's one of those like you see from Quigs where he's just putting it over shit. Like,
Yeah,
it's fucking.
that's what I was saying. I'm saying, is that Quigs or Chuck? Because that sounds like a Quigs tweet.
Chuck,
Sure.
it was a great tweet from Chuck. He quoted Jerry's thing, and it was just with a Jeff Nadeau tweet Photoshop with just Lucas on his phone on his knees. Because for some reason, it's on his fucking knees doing lemon eye. Probably because Jerry's not tall enough to record him. So I don't know. It's a great quote, great tweet. Shout out Chuck. Great fucking tweet.
Yeah, shout out Jeff Nadeau as well, because earlier in the week he posted a picture of like a chick in a bikini in like the 1950s, and it said, "Look at this photo of this woman getting a ticket from police officers in the 1950s because she was wearing a bikini." And his tweet was just, "What's her at?"
Yeah, right.
Just he's never off, dude. He's just always on, man. It's fucking crazy.
He's always on. He's always on the grind. Big Cat mentioned on the Yak this week. That's why I laugh so much. It's because like you'll see Jeff Nadeau. It's like either boobs, cartel death, or Providence -6. Like that's all it is. Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, that'll do it for our segment. So we're gonna move right into the dozen then, I guess.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Let's start with NFL. Chris Sims went 6-4 as a starter for this 2005
Bucks
NFC
team.
team playoffs. That's the Bucks. Shout out Steve. QB Josh Freeman connected with wide receiver Jordy Nelson for 1,599 yards for this 2007 Big 12 school.
Shout out Rico. It's Kansas State.
Oh, yeah. State. Yep. Oops. I knew it was like a silver. Primary playing first base, this Orioles hitter led the American League in home runs in both 2013 and 2015.
Shout out
Lefty
RDT.
dude.
I know this answer.
Chris Davis, right? The lefty.
Yeah, Chris Davis. Yep.
Yeah.
We got 3 shout outs in already.
I was gonna say Rafael Palmeiro there for a second.
No, it's Chris Davis for sure.
All right, let's go. All right, acclaimed as the father of the Constitution, who's the 4th president of the United States?
Shout out PFT. You don't know it?
Madison?
Yeah, James Madison. Father of the Constitution. Frankie, you're a teacher.
Yeah, see. Yeah. I teach math. They talk about civics all the time, and I'm like, don't talk to me about civics. Oh God, what's that chick's name, dude? She's got this. Oh,
America.
that's Alec Baldwin for sure.
Yeah, Baldwin.
Yes,
and-
America Ferrara. Dude,
Yeah,
I'm so
yeah,
glad you said that. I would have never got if you didn't say America, which is insane because it's our country, but I would have never
wouldn't
got
have got
that.
it.
If
I
once
wouldn't
you
have got it
said
right.
that,
I
I
would've
remember. Yes,
Mhm.
let's go. It's more than a mouthful was a slogan for this crisp rice chocolate bar containing peanut crisp and caramel. I know
Whatchamacallit?
that slogan, but I don't.
I said
Is that
it.
a whatchamacallit?
Yeah.
Seriously?
More than a mouthful. Whatchamacallit?
Big
Yeah.
Cat was
It's more
Big Cat was just talking about that.
more than a mouthful. Whatchamacallit? Like, what do you call it? Yeah.
That's funny. Oh my God.
Powerpuff Girls.
Bubbles, Blossom, and Buttercup, famous
Easy.
trio from
Let's
this
go. We're
Cartoon
going
Network
9
show.
for 9
That
today.
would be the Powerpuff Girls.
Going 9 for 9. No double dip. Let's go.
Yeah, dude. This one is
It's cake so far.
this is ours. Psh, actress played Will Ferrell's love interest in Elf. I literally watched this 2 days ago,
Zoe
dude.
Nixon now.
Simple.
Absolute babe. Is she New Girl? Does she play New Girl?
All right, this is it. In 2008, Rihanna had a #1 hit. Yes, she's New Girl. She looks so different in that show, though. It's crazy how
Yeah.
different she can look.
I just started watching that show recently.
All right,
That's why.
last one. In 2008, Rihanna had a #1 hit with her song "Take a Bow." More than a decade after this singer had a 1994 #1 hit, also titled "Take a Bow."
I might not know this one.
Yeah, no clue. Whitney Houston,
I don't think so.
Aretha Franklin. That's way too early, or 1994 is way too late, right? For that.
Do you think it'd be like the same like cadence? Take a bow. Who else are like famous artists? Take a bow in like what? The 90s?
Or
Not Britney Spears, no. You got the Queen of Pop, Madonna.
Christina Aguilera. But see, like all those are.
Aguilera, sure.
I don't know. You want to say Madonna? I have no idea.
You could go like Franklin.
Janet
Do
Jackson
Franklin. You do one of those first, yeah.
or Janet Jackson, dude. 90s. Aretha Franklin. You think? Franklin or
know.
Janet Jackson?
Go Jackson. You feel confident about Jackson, I feel like.
Okay, I would say I kind of like Janet Jackson more. Come on. Fuck.
All right, double dip.
Should we use
Go. Yeah, use it. What are you doing?
Franklin?
Madonna.
No?
Madonna.
Did you mook that? I don't know. You said Madonna earlier, actually, but
See that shit? Yeah, I was thinking 90s pop singers. We had to go with the white girl. We gotta be on the same
Shit,
side.
well,
You know what I mean? 50-50 split.
all right. The boys are back. 9 for 9. Haven't done that in a while, so that felt good.
We just
Nice
went 9
get
for
on
9
that
on a
last
double
one
dip.
because there's no way I was getting that.
We just went 9 for 9 on a
Yeah, but
double dip
still.
recently. Yeah, but still double dip. We gotta be pure. We gotta do it right. That's the breakdown way. And that's
I
why.
know. I feel like because we
That's
don't
why.
call for a double dip prior like they do.
Right, and that's why. It's always good to be on the Barstool breakdown. Rest in peace, King.
Absolutely. Viva.
It's the Barstool Breakdown. Go ahead